This is lesson 2.1, Fractions Introduction. We are in your practice packet, and we're going to start on the top of page 2, and we're going to go through the top of page 4 on this one today. Just as a side note, on page 3, we are going to skip in part B, down in the bottom right corner. We're skipping number 2, 4, 6, and 8. So when I get to that part of the video, I will just cross those off and I'm not going to go over them with you. Starting in the first part, it says, what's a fraction? So we're just going to be looking at numerators and denominators here. So my first fraction is shaded 2 out of 5 total. Second one, I'm going to see 1 shaded out of 2 total. In the third one, I see 8 shaded out of 12 total. And if you're like me, that fraction bothers you a little bit, I would like to see your final answer to be 2/3 here because I would want you to reduce this. In the last one on this row, shaded is 4 parts out of 8 parts total. And again, I would want to see this reduced as 1/2. If you didn't do it on this round, that's okay. It didn't specifically ask you to do that. Just ask for numerator and denominator. Part B is right underneath number 3 and 4 here. It says, which of the following models represent a fraction that is 2 as the numerator and 3 as the denominator? So we're looking for 2 shaded parts out of 3 total parts. So your correct answer here would be letter choice C. In the next ones, color a fourth of the leaves orange. Again, if you did not pick orange, it's perfectly fine. I would have expected you to split these into groups of 4 because 1/4 has 4 parts to it. And we're going to go ahead and color 1/4. So in each group of 4, I'm going to color 1. In each group of 4, I'm going to go ahead and color 1. In the next part, color 1/2 of the capsicum green. So it looks like these are just pumpkins, fancy name. 1/2 is 1 out of 2. So for every 2, I'm going to color 1. For every 2, I'm going to color 1. For every 2, I'm going to color 1. For every 2, color 1. For every 2, color 1. You could have also just colored the 5 that are right next to each other in a row. I don't really care, but you should have 5 of them colored in. The last part is to color 3/4 of the vases blue. So in a group of 4, you would color in 3. 1, 2, 3. In a group of 4, you would color in 3. 1, 2, 3. And in the final group of 4, you would also color in 1, 2, and 3 of them, for a total of 9 of the vases colored in. On the next page, reducing fractions, you're just simplifying here, dividing by the greatest common factor that they have. My biggest common factor here, it looks like, is a 4, so that would mean that I get 5, 6. Dividing the top by 4 and dividing the bottom by 4. Whatever you do to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator. Keep it fair. In 20/45, I'm going to divide by 5, giving me 4/9. In 21/56, I'm dividing by 7 here, and that's going to give me 3/8. In 18/63, I'm dividing by 9. That's going to give me 2/7. And then over here, this one's a little bit tricky, but if you didn't really realize, I'll show you what I did at first. I noticed they were both even, kind of struggled from there. Could also divide by 9 if you wanted to. So you can kind of go through a couple different processes here. I divided by 9 first because that was the biggest thing that I thought of. And I ended up getting 2/10 when I did that. But 2/10 still has a factor of 2. So this actually reduces to 1/5. 42, 48, they're both divisible by 6, so you're going to get 7/8. 8/64, both divisible by 8. 16/28, divisible by 4, so you get 4/7. 30/42 are both divisible by 6, giving you 5/7. And 24/32, you can divide them both by 8, which would give you 3/8. Biggest thing to remember, if you're dividing the numerator by something, you have to divide the denominator by it as well. Next part, mixed numbers and improper fractions. And this is still the bottom of page 3. This is the part where I'm telling you we're going to skip talking about these ones over here. They're just a little bit too much. So we're going to start with these first ones, convert to an improper fraction. If you would like to, you can say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46. and keep your denominator of 5. Or you could have just said 5 times 9 is 45, plus 1 is 46. Don't really care if you're using the picture or not. Here you have 3, 6, and 2 more gives you 8. Keep your denominator of 3. Here you have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to give me 14 ninths for my improper fraction there. Over here in part B, I am asking you without a picture, so I'm asking you to multiply and then add. 7 times 8 is 56. 56 plus 2 is 62 sevenths. 12 times 4 is 48, plus 1 is 49 twelfths. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9 fourths. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24 fifths. And like I said, we're going to go ahead and skip 2, 4, 6, and 8 on the bottom of this page. On the top of page 4, you'll see these problems up here, and after these problems, we are going to stop for today's lesson. So in the first one, we have the visual representation, improper versus mixed. So if you're looking, you have 5 plus 3 spots, so that's 8 fifths is shaded. In this one, you can either divide and realize, oh, I'm going to get 7 with 3 left over, or you could count, say, 4, 8, 12. We could keep going, 16, 20, 24, 28, 31 fourths, which is right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes, and 3 fourths shaded, which gives us our mixed number. So those are our 2 options here. Next one, we have our mixed number. We need the improper. These are split into 8, so this is 8, 16, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and keep our denominator of 8. Over here, I'm asking you to actually use the process, use the rule. 23 divided by 6 is going to give me 3 whole times. 6 times 3 is 18. That leaves me with 5 remaining, and 6 is still my denominator. Over here, I kind of run out of some space, so I'm going to do it underneath. 79 divided by 10, 7 whole times, 9 are left over, keep the 10. In number 3, I have 46 divided by 7. 7 goes in 6 whole times. That gives me 42, so there's 4 left over. Keep the denominator 7. In number 4, 5 divided by 2 is 2 whole times. 1's left over. Keep the denominator of 2. 7 divided by 5 goes in once, and there are 2 left over. Keep the denominator. Final one for today, 15 divided by 4. 4 only goes in 3 times. 4 times 3 is 12. That leaves me with 3 remaining, 4 as my denominator. So that wraps up your final problem for lesson 2.1, the Fractions Introduction Practice Packet.